Junior picked up 3 RBIs yesterday, but Amy, if you look at what she's done in the last 4 games, the junior having a standout year.
Yes, the last 4 games she's hitting .600, 3 home runs. One of those home runs was her 101st career hit, and last night clutched 2 two-out hits.
Well, and they'll be facing a team in Eastern Illinois today that has struggled in the Tiger Invitational. Eastern Illinois' offense only batting .119 as a team with 4 runs, but they've had a high strikeout rate. How do they adjust at the plate today and to create a little more pressure for this Auburn defense?
I really think they need to swing early in the count. Obviously, swing at good pitches, not help Chardonnay out at all, swing at something out of the strike zone.
And for Eastern Illinois, they are led by head coach Kim Shunney. And for Coach Shunney, this is her second stint at Eastern Illinois. This is her 11th season overall, but if you look at what she's done, Amy, she's got a winning program, and this is a big weekend to get her team down in the South and play in a warm climate this weekend.
Sure, we talked a little bit to her earlier, and they said they have a great indoor facility, but it's not the same when you come out here and you're playing on dirt and, seeing live pitching against someone else. It's just different.
Well, the Auburn Tigers led by second-year head coach Mickey Dean, and he's got another strong year with another strong pitching. But one thing Auburn's adding this year with his efforts is the long ball. Amy, in Auburn, he's putting together a pretty solid Auburn team this season.
Yeah, they have just really, in the last, again, we were talking about Alyssa in her last 4 games and Casey Mcracken, and they're doing a good job at the top of the lineup, getting runners on and coming up with some really good clutch 2-out hits when they need it.
Auburn is going to go with a southpaw in Chardonnay Harris, the sophomore out of Oak Park, Illinois, so playing a team from her home state today. This is Chardonnay's second start of the season, Amy. The key for her, of course, is the changeup. What else do you expect to see from Chardonnay to have success today?
Well, just like any pitcher, she needs to work ahead, start off with some strikes, and then mix that in off speed, and she'll be tough.
Well, for Eastern Illinois, she'll be facing a team that, again, struggled at the plate, Amy, but Maddie Poulter can be the table setter at the top. She scored 2 runs yesterday when Eastern Illinois put up a couple runs against Villanova, so she can be a factor. She was hitless in Game 1 today against Troy.
Yeah, for Eastern Illinois to have some success, she's going to have to get on base.
And the first pitch from Chardonnay Harris comes in high and tight. We are underway here, running about an hour behind here in the Tiger Invitational, but there's one thing for sure about tournament play, Amy. It's especially in the non-conference season is, hey, you have to adjust the schedules and get ready to play 2 games in some not-so-normal environments.
Yeah, and we were talking about them having some success earlier. They played and lost to Troy 4-3, but they were getting some base runners on, and that's what they're going to have to do here against Auburn.
Eastern Illinois threatened late in that game today. Lost it 4-3. Scored a run in the 5th and scored 2 runs in the 6th. They got within 1 as Troy had a 4-1 lead in the 6th. But for Eastern Illinois, again, is just trying to generate some offense and get some base runners early. And they're a ball away from doing it here with Chardonnay Harris in the hole 3-0.
Yeah, Chardonnay just needs to settle in, come right at her.
And the 3-0, high and tight for ball 4, a leadoff walk for Eastern Illinois. For Chardonnay Harris this season, her numbers have been solid. Good strikeout to walk ratio, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks in 8 2/3 innings pitched coming in. 1-0 in the season. That win came 2 weeks ago against Florida A&M.
Looks like Maddie Poulter has 1 stolen base attempt on the season, so I don't know if she's a threat to go here or not, but she was successful.
Yeah, good speed out of the second baseman, and she's one that kind of favors defense over offense, surprisingly. And Poulter, though, I'd be surprised to see Eastern Illinois maybe try to put her in motion early. And Wallenweber, the pitcher, in the hole 0-2. As Chardonnay Harris coming back, throwing a couple strikes after 4 straight balls to Poulter.
Yeah, I thought they might try to lay a bunt down here early on, move some runners, maybe push a run across early.
Oh-2, Chardonnay sits down Wallenweber with the rise ball. This one down.
3 straight strikes for Chardonnay. Oh, she took the rise ball right there. Threw it by her.
Well, that's a good pitch to go to as well. When you're ahead 0-2 as a pitcher, you have waste pitches, and that's certainly one of them. And records the first down. Here's Meghan Burton.
She comes back with that changeup.
What do you think about coming back with that changeup after throwing a rise? Burton is on deck. She sees that. Probably not expecting that change on the first pitch.
No, and she started out with 4 straight balls, and now we're here at 4 straight strikes. So there's 5.
So Chardonnay Harris kind of getting in a rhythm here. And, of course, that's important early because, how you pitch and how you start can certainly translate to how you produce later in the ballgame.
Sure. And now she's ahead again here, 0-2. So let's see if she goes back to the rise ball.
Burton, one of the better hitters for Eastern Illinois. 5 runs batted in.
Oh, the changeup.
Popped up shallow center. Morgan Padani's there. And it's 2 down in the inning. So Meghan Burton makes an adjustment to the changeup.
You can just see how her body weight was just out in front of it and got under it just enough to easy fly ball to center field. So now she's got 2 outs here, and we'll see what she does here with Cooper.
Bria Cooper, 1 for 1 today against Troy with an RBI. And for Cooper, also hit by a pitch in that ball game.
Yeah, it was a line down the left field line. And she ended up getting a double on that.
Yeah, Cooper, one that's got a bit of power. 2 RBIs this season. Hitting above the 300 mark coming in today at 346.
Looks like Chardonnay is trying to stay outside a little bit on her, not give her anything good to hit.
For Auburn, these teams playing a couple times this weekend. You play enough games, everybody's going to have time to send a scout and have a scouting report on you.
Absolutely, especially with 2 outs.
2-0, little liner left side over the glove of Snow. It'll drop in for the first Panther base hit of the first inning. And it's runners at first and second, 2 outs.
I think she was actually caught off guard there on that pitch with something 2-0 count. She's looking for something to drive. And you see that's down, and she just throws her bat out there and lands out in left center.
It's just a good job of adjusting.
Yeah.
Hitting it where it's pitched. And that'll set up Nia Davis as center fielder. But if you notice, when Chardonnay Harris wants to get ahead, Amy, she's going to that changeup.
She is, and that's really, really tough for a hitter to come in and see that first pitch, and they're most likely going to take it. So if she can throw that first strike, she's going to be working ahead all day.
Coach Mickey Dean says that Chardonnay needs to have the changeup working along with one other pitch, either the rise or the curve. If she can have 2 of the 3 working together, she's going to have a successful day. Coach Mickey Dean in his 2nd season at Auburn, coming off one of the best seasons statistically that Auburn has had as a pitching staff. 1-1 off the end of the bat, jammed. And Justice Perry steps on it for out number 3. Scoreless in Auburn at the end of 1. Redshirt sophomore Taylor Wallenweber getting her first career starts in the pitching circle. A transfer from Purdue, had never pitched before, at least that we can find until today. Amy, playing a team like Auburn in an atmosphere like Auburn, being a former college softball player, what advice do you give to a player starting in this environment for the first time?
Well, sometimes I think what you don't know is okay. And so she's going out here and facing one of the best hitting teams in the country right now. So I'm really actually interested to see. There's a lot of fans here.
Well, correction. With one of the old trickaroos on the lineup sheet, they're actually going to go with Mckenna Kauffman, who was injured the last 2 seasons, multiple knee injuries, but has come back stronger than ever. Expect to see a heavy drop, and she's going to get a lot of ground ball outs.
That's what happens when you put your DP into pitch and they don't let us know, Britt.
It's goodness. I was like, well, when I saw it, I was like, this will be interesting today.
Yes.
Taylon Snow, first batter to lead it off for Auburn. A good hitter in the leadoff spot, 429 average. And then, of course, Alyssa Rivera moving up a couple spots in the order, moving up to third for Auburn today.
And you can see where the outfield shaded, center field a little to left. I'm surprised right field is as far over as they are right now, but they're clearly going to pitch her outside.
Kauffman missing outside on the first two, going high on the third. But Snow, she's a very good hitter. She's a gap hitter. Took one off the wall yesterday. Just missed her first career home run in the first game against Villanova.
There's 4 straight outside pitches, and Talon is sitting here with the 3-1 count, so I'm certain she's looking for something to drive right there.
And Talon, member of the All-SEC freshman team a season ago, hit around 330. And sitting on the inside pitch, just too far out in front. Kauffman with the 3-2. In the air left field is Taylor Jones making the catch on the foul line. It's one down. And taking a look at the outfield today for Eastern Illinois is Jones in left, Mia Davis in center, and Bria Cooper in right. And some good talent in the outfield. Cooper specifically highlighted this week to us by Coach Shuddy, with her ability to track down balls, that she's a good runner. And with one out is Casey Mccracken. And Mccracken, one of those players yesterday that I thought had a good day, Amy, is last night she was 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk against North Dakota State, 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs, 2 walks against Villanova. Kind of overshadowed a bit by the day that Alyssa Rivera had, but when you hit Mccracken, Rivera back-to-back, they can be dangerous.
Sure, and she's hitting .514, so she's on base half the time. Wanted to see what they were going to throw her right there with 2-0 pitch. She was ready to hit it, but now 3-0.
Well, this back-to-back hitters here that Kauffman is falling behind 3-0 to these Auburn hitters. Hard grounder, it'll get through into left. One out base hit, Casey Mccracken. And for Mccracken, she has picked up her 19th base hit of the season.
Yeah, I guess when you're hitting .514, you get the green light on 3-0.
Well, coming into the weekend, she was tied for second in the SEC in hits. I think we just got a good glimpse as to why Mccracken is one of the best hitters in the SEC. Well, one out, that'll bring up the player of the weekend so far for Auburn, Alyssa Rivera.
Looks like she took a little something off of that. Again, staying outside. You can see center field is still shaded. As soon as I say that, she came inside on Talon Snow. Let's see what she does here to Rivera.
A little defensive strategy here. 1-0. Kauffman trying to live up and away to the lefties so far from Auburn.
Yeah, and like you said, she's gotten behind every single hitter. And that's tough to do when you're going through this lineup, because Rivera is going to be sitting right here and she's going to be ready to hit.
2-0. Runner goes. Rivera pops it up. It'll stay in. His third baseman, Hannah Cravens, making the catch, is 2 down. Good job by Cravens. Not the easiest angle to make that catch, but she stayed with it down the line.
Sure, she did, and I think Rivera is going to want that one back when she'll be ready first when she comes through the second time. But yeah, she's a little frustrated. I think she caught her in a little off speed there.
Well, and for Auburn yesterday, they struggled the first time around in both games against Villanova and North Dakota State. It was all about how they made adjustments the second time. Runner goes at Mccracken, and she's underneath the tag with plenty of time. And Mccracken has her 4th stolen base of the season.
Yeah, like you were saying, the second time through against Villanova, they put up a 4 spot in the 3rd inning. Against North Dakota State, they put up 2 runs in the 4th. Or the 3rd, I think it was.
Auburn, though, Amy, a team that likes to run under Mickey Dean. Tigers now 19 of 22 on stolen bases this year.
Yep, and here we are again, 2-0. A base hit here would definitely score Mccracken.
Veach with a hitter's count. And it comes inside, hits her. That one got away. And it's a free base for Veach.
For sure, I think that pitch just got away from her. It doesn't hurt him. There was an open base, like you said. Yeah, she's just throwing her rise ball there that gets away.
First time this year that Veach has been plunked, but you got to keep in mind here with Kauffman in the circle. She only had 2 appearances last year with 1 start before she hung it up for the season with knee injuries. Brittany Marisette.
I was just going to say she's doing a great job of, getting back in the count once she falls behind. But here she gets ahead, first pitch.
Yeah, the first time in 5 batters that she's gotten ahead. Eastern Illinois trying to keep Auburn off the board. Bottom of the 1st. Tigers threatening with Mcracken on 2nd. Veach on 1st. Marisette with a 2 RBI triple yesterday. Down the line, right field is Bria Cooper making the catch for out number 3. At the end of 1, we are scoreless on the Plains. Kim Shunny seeking her 300th career win at Eastern Illinois this weekend in the Tiger Invitational, most in program history. Actually spent 2 stints at Eastern Illinois. The first stint was from 2006 to 2013. The second stint from 2016 to 2019. And I think the most interesting fact, though, about Coach Shunny, Amy, is she's coaching with her dad. Her dad is a part of her staff, and that's such a rare thing nowadays to see. You don't see it often.
No, and you know what? That's kind of a cool thing, especially here when she's on the verge of getting 300 wins, and he gets to witness that. I think that's kind of awesome.
I guess the most common one I think you would see around the Plains would be Bruce Pearl, his son Steven, Auburn men's basketball.
That's true.
But a unique opportunity for those two. And it's Kendall Mchugh to lead off the inning for the Panthers, facing Chardonnay Harris for the 2nd inning for Auburn in the circle.
Mchugh's hitting .294 coming into this weekend. She's definitely one of the hitters for Eastern Illinois that needs to come through.
It's a hard bouncer into left field for a leadoff single. And Mchugh, another base hit for Eastern Illinois, their 2nd of the ball game.
Baseman number 10, Hannah Cravens.
That one just caught a good chunk of the plate. Mchugh able to turn on it.
Yeah, and let's see here if they try to move her over and if Auburn's ready to get the go-ahead run.
They're trying to bunt. Third baseman Hannah Cravens made a nice catch in the bottom half of the 1st inning on a fly ball down the line. Cravens a 133 hitter.
You can see those corners creeping in. She's swinging, Brett.
Yeah. Attempted a bunt on the first one. Decides, hey, they're going to let her swing the bat a bit here. She has 4 RBIs this season.
You know, that's a tough play. You can see how up the middle second base is playing if she does put it down. Mcracken has a long way to go there.
Harris gets the strike off the missed bunt attempt to make it 1-2.
Now with 2 strikes, now the defense can kind of adjust a little bit. You can see Perry is almost back at the first base bag.
2 balls and 2 strikes for Harris. And Harris today used her defense with 1 strikeout in the first inning. Giving up a couple base knocks. And the 2-2 blows her away. Strikeout swinging goes Craven. Second strikeout for Harris.
What a great pitch. You can see the curveball. Just late break. If she can throw that all day, she'll be really tough to hit.
But for Harris, just like any underclassman, I think is starting early, hit the strike zone, get those first few couple of outs, and then you start to settle into a groove. She's got the stuff. It's just settling in. That can be easier said than done. She'll face Mckenna Kauffman, the designated player. Excuse me, now the pitcher. One-oh pitch. And Harris having some good velocity here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think at some point Eastern Illinois is going to have to put this runner in motion here to get the defense moving a little bit because Chardonnay is really settling in.
1-1. Harris keeping the ball down in the zone, and so far Eastern Illinois having little success. Harris coming back, complimenting with the rise.
Yeah, Kauffman doing a good job getting back in the count.
Harris looking for a ground ball here. Runner at first, 1 out, and instead gets a swing and a miss. A foul tip, and Kauffman is out. Third strikeout for Harris, back-to-back Ks. And
what a great job Kendall Mchugh holding on to that.
yeah, because again, you saw the home plate umpire motion the tip at the end. And with Kendall, if she drops that ball, Kauffman gets another chance. And Harris coming back with a strike on the inside corner to Lexi Smith.
And Harris is doing exactly what you're supposed to do when you get to the bottom of a lineup. You're facing 7, 8, 9, and she's come right after him.
0-1 comes back upstairs. Smith misses on the swing. How do you like the way Harris is starting to settle in here?
I mean, like I said, she's just done a great job, especially in this inning here when this is what you're supposed to do at the bottom of the lineup, come right at hitters.
0-2, got her swinging. Chase the rise, and it's 3 strikeouts in the second. Headed to the bottom of the second, and it was all Chardonnay Harris. 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. Tigers to bat next. Watch some college softball, and it has been great weather in Auburn, Alabama for the Tiger Invitational. Bottom of the second, Auburn and Eastern Illinois. Tigers and the Panthers are scoreless. For Auburn, it'll be Tannen Snow to lead off the inning. And Tannen, the redshirt junior out of Chino Hills, California, holding down the hot corner this season for Auburn.
Yeah, well, like we talked earlier, with Chardonnay Harris last inning coming right at the bottom of the lineup. Well, we're doing the same thing here, but you're facing a little different numbers here. With she's .359 on base percentage. She already has 4 home runs on the year.
Well, for Tannen Snow, she has the power. She has 8 RBIs to complement those home runs, and when she's on, I mean, she's a type player, Amy, that can hit 3 or 4 in the lineup.
Ooh.
And the second time, one just gets away from Kauffman and has her second hit batter of the game.
Now voting for the Tigers for first baseman, number 18, Justice Perry.
Yeah, again with that rise ball. It's just getting away from her a little bit. And you know it's not on purpose, just working a little bit behind, and yeah, just got away from her again.
I mean, this early in the game, these teams I don't believe have never played.
Right.
Just trying to find a way to locate it. And the second one comes in and hits Justice Perry.
Well, as a pitcher, when you're facing hitters like this, you don't want to put the ball over the plate.
Right.
You want to work inside. You want to work outside. And I think she's a little frustrated right now. She thinks Justice leaned over the plate.
Well, yeah, that's what Coach Shunny's coming out and talking about.
Yeah, let's take a look. And she might have a little bit of an argument.
Yeah.
I mean, Perry, she's just getting ready to hit, and she doesn't try to get out of the way, but, I mean, it rode inside on her.
Well, and one thing with Coach Shunny, I mean, she wants her pitchers to pitch for outs, and she told us this week, hey, against Auburn, you cannot leave the ball over the plate. Auburn's too good of a hitting team, and they'll make you pay for it. But also one thing you can't do, you got to find a way to attack the corners north, south, east, and west and try to get some outs, because right now Auburn threatening first and second, nobody out with Bree Fornes at the plate.
Yes, and Auburn's about to roll over to the top of the lineup.
And Fornes, one of those players that has had some successful at-bats this season. 2 RBIs, she has 1 home run, but she has sneaky power. I think the biggest issue for her this year is being in the starting lineup on a day-to-day basis. First time in her career she's adjusting to that role.
Yeah, and you can see the confidence Coach Dean has in her. I mean, you have first and second, no outs, and he's not asking her to bunt. He's asking her to hit the ball.
And sneaky power. Well, with Coach Shunny, she's going to come out and talk to Kauffman in the circle. Again, for Kauffman today, she's only given up 1 base hit. The biggest issue is just staying away from the right-handed batter. She's hit 3 righties in this game for Auburn. 3 of the 4 base runners hit. And the 2-0 wild pitch gets away. Snow to third and Perry to second. It's a free base for both.
Yeah, it looks like we got some early action in the bullpen down there. But now we have a 3-0 count, and not that, I mean, it's like you said, really early in the game. There is an open base. I still wouldn't give her anything to drive.
Yeah, for Eastern Illinois, wasting no time, gonna try to get some action in that bullpen. Looks like Sydney Kamen, the righty, will go down to warm up for Eastern Illinois. And now time called by Coach Shunny, and it's gonna be a quick change already. And for Eastern Illinois, we'll have the new pitcher and the new numbers after this. Tigers threatening in the bottom of the second. Sydney Kamen in the pitch for Eastern Illinois. She's a freshman coming in with a 3-0 count and delivers a strike. Amy, not an easy situation for a freshman to come in on.
Absolutely not. I mean, she had to come in and pitch a strike. You know, the hitter knew that, but also it's a new pitcher. You want to take a pitch, see what she has.
And the 3-1 loses Fornes up high. Tough situation. As Kamen walks Fornes, that loads the bases for Auburn, and it'll be the senior in Morgan Padani coming to bat.
It's early in the game, but I don't think Eastern Illinois can afford to give up too many runs, so I'll be interested to see if they decide to come in and go to the plate or not.
Well, Padani, 4 runs batted in on the year. She had bouncer to third here is snagged. They throw home for 1. Cravens with a great play, and the bases are still loaded It's one out. Padani reached on the fielder's choice.
That was a tremendous play, and I think the way the ball bounced so high is the reason they couldn't actually turn a double play at first. You can see she gets up there, and then she looks to turn it, but makes the right decision not to throw it.
The athleticism of Cravens robs Padani of an RBI single. And it's back to the top in Taylon Snow.
So usually this is the second time through now that you've seen a pitcher, but we've already had a change, so
now for Auburn, how do you adjust second time around? They were great at doing it yesterday.
Well, you're already seeing a little different look, and it's 1-1. The first pitcher was getting behind batters a little bit, and I think now you can kind of zero in and look to hit.
1-1 gets under the glove of Davis. One will score. Here comes Fornes, and Taylon Snow will take off for second. And the sophomore for Auburn drives in two with a single to right field.
Taylon Snow just continuing her tear at the plate. 2 more RBIs for her. And then, yeah, without hitting the cut at the plate on the throw, allowed her to go to scoring position again. Yeah, she just kind of threw her bat out there, but it was enough. Get down the line and, yeah, 2 runs.
That's what Taylon Snow does. She finds the lines and finds the gaps. That is her 11th run batted in, and that sets up Auburn's Casey Mccracken, the best hitter on the team, with 13 RBIs, 5 homers, runners at second and third. And here's the thing, you have somewhere to put Mccracken to put a force out at every base, but you're still risking it because it's not getting any easier with Rivera and Veach to follow.
Absolutely not, and it's early in the game, so, well, and then as soon as you say it.
Rivera carries one out to deep right, caught by Cooper. Tagging from third is Padani, and Padani scores easily on the sacrifice fly. Tigers extended 3-0.
Yeah. Mccracken did her job there for sure. Early in the count, she's looking to drive something, and she did. Is able to bring home the runner. You can see it's actually a good job by the outfield. She knew she wasn't going to throw her out at the plate, but was not able to keep the runner off third.
2 outs and a runner at third. That has been the situation this weekend for Alyssa Rivera. Last night against North Dakota State, 2 out hits with a runner at third base to drive in 2 runs. And a look at what she's done this weekend. 3 for 3 runners in scoring position.
She's looking at another hitter's count again. And remember her last at bat, she was a little frustrated, swung at something off speed.
(2-0). Kamen will come inside, will miss 3-0. Now here, do you have the green light?
They have earlier in the game, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Rivera's second team All-SEC 2 seasons ago. And thinks this ball 4 and is called back for a strike. Back to work for Rivera.
Yeah, she just rides that curveball outside a little bit. Good job on the catcher framing it in there. It might have been a little out, but it's a good pitch.
3-1. And this time Rivera will take 4-4. Runners at the corners. It'll be Kendall Veach with an RBI chance next.
We got a first and third situation here with 2 outs. We'll see if they just concede the bag or throw it down.
Well, for Kamen here, she's done a good job using her defense. Eastern Illinois' defense has done great jobs of making plays here. And now they've got to find a way to get one more out. Runner at third doesn't mean much, but the runners at first puts a force at first and second with Veach at the plate.
And there she goes. And they do throw it down.
And Rivera steals her 4th bag of the year. And Lexi Smith not happy on the play.
Well, it's a good job by Eastern Illinois throwing it down there. They were able to keep the runner at third, so no harm.
Now potentially a ball in the gap could score 2. What do you see from Kama, though, coming in?
Well, she's done a good job on getting ahead of most hitters, keeping it around the plate. I think earlier when they were missing by a lot. The hitters really, it wasn't close enough they were just taking. And when she misses now, she's missing closer to the plate.
Well, and that's a good point, because Auburn hitters today really haven't been challenged in terms of, if ball's been off the plate, Auburn hasn't been swinging unless there's strikes. Here's one that'll get through. Rivera rounds third, and she's safely across. 2 RBI single for Kendall Mchugh. 14 runs batted in this year for the senior catcher.
There's Veach just staying on that outside pitch. That's really all you could do with that pitch. She tries to pull it. It's a ground ball out. She does a great job of letting it get deep and driving it up the middle.
Well, what else do you know for Auburn? More 2-out hitters, or 2-out hits with runners in scoring position and driving in runners. That's been the MO for the Tigers the last 2 days. And Brittany Marisette will have an opportunity after a big 2 RBI triple yesterday against Villanova. Bouncer to second, Poulter to first, inning over. But Auburn, they drop a 5 spot in the seconds. Tigers control on the plains. For Auburn, 4 strikeouts on the game. 3 of those came in the second inning, and she has been aggressive from the start. Amy, what have you liked about the way the sophomore from Illinois has pitched today?
Well, really, after she faced the very first batter of the game, she's settled in and came right at hitters. And now with a 5-run lead, I think it's going to make her even more dangerous because she's continued to come right at him and not really even work the corners at all.
Yeah, had a 5-run lead, but also, too, had a bit of a break in the dugout in that last time around for Auburn batting. All 9 hitters were able to hit, so she should be well rested coming into the 3rd inning.
Sure, and it's Eastern Illinois' second time around, second time seeing her, so we'll see how they adjust.
It'll be Poulter, Wallenweber, and Burton. Poulter walked in the first inning. And has the green light on the first pitch. And Harris's rise ball today, she's thrown a lot of swing and misses from that pitch.
Absolutely, and if they're going to help her with that pitch too, it is going to be really tough.
And the 0-1, good off speed, good eye by Maddie Poulter.
And that is just almost impossible to hit. I mean, you just saw a rise ball in your eyes, and now you're just a changeup.
Ooh. Didn't miss by much either.
That's tough.
1-1. This one comes in at the knees for Harris. 1-2, blows her away. 5th strikeout for Chardonnay.
There she goes. She's just going to climb the ladder again. And it looks in the zone when it gets there and then just jumps out. And with 2 strikes, it's tough to let go.
Up next, the Purdue transfer and Taylor Wallenweber to face Chardonnay Harris, who is red hot for Auburn. And the first pitch change, a no-go for Wallenweber.
You got a 48-mile-an-hour changeup coming in there, and as a slapper, you're timing one thing and something else comes in. It's really difficult to hit.
Then comes back, grooves in a 62-mile-per-hour pitch down the middle.
Yep, she's doing a great job of mixing speeds, mixing planes.
But you can really tell Auburn's in rhythm today with Harris, Veach behind the plate, and even Coach Mickey Dean calling the pitches from the dugout. And the 0-2 changeup sits down Wallenweber for strikeout number 6.
And her 5th one in a row. You can see why Coach Dean says that she's dangerous when that's working, because these hitters are completely fooled.
Yeah, the last 5 batters sat down, all with strikeouts swinging against Chardonnay Harris. Meghan Burton will try to break up the trend.
There again with the rise ball. And that's out of the zone, so if they're going to swing at it, that's where I would keep throwing it.
Harris in command. She hasn't faced more than a 2-2 count the entire game since the first. As the 0-1 chased again by Burton. And I take that back. She has walked 1, but since the leadoff walk, she has not been in a 3-0 count in the ballgame.
And let's see, like you would think she'll climb the ladder here, but if she comes with the changeup.
And here's a liner to break up the strikeout fiesta with Harris, and Meghan Burton has the 3rd base hit of the game for Eastern Illinois.
And when you're throwing that pitch so good, it's really hard not to want to throw it. With an 0-2 count, it's tough, but it's still such a good pitch. And you see how far out in front of it is. She is. It's a good piece of hitting.
Runner at first, 2 outs, and now it's Bria Cooper to the plate, and a good job by Burton to get on base, because Cooper, she's been swinging it well, 1 for 1 in today's ball game. And with Cooper having the patience to lay off that first pitch, because give credit to Eastern Illinois, they've been swinging at pitches early in the count, but for the most part, they've been out of the zone.
There's a curveball. She started out with a curveball that was out a little bit, and then come back with it, gets even in the count. So you know the changeup's coming. It's just a matter of when.
One, a strike. Veach pops up, ready to gun a runner down, but Burton held it first.
So what do you think, Brett? You think she'll climb the ladder here, or you think she'll do the changeup?
I'm going to go rise because she has pitched pitches to waste.
She's thrown her 2 straight curveballs. Let's see.
I'm no coach.
There at a curveball again.
Ball to shortstop. Taylon Snow, the momentum takes her to second, and the easy flip for out number 3. Coming up, we'll talk with head coach Kim Shutter of Eastern Illinois. Coach Shunny coming up next on the SEC Network. Bottom of the 3rd inning in Auburn, Alabama. 3 hits apiece, but 5 runs for the home team. And Amy, Auburn came out second time around, swung the bats well, and for the 2nd day in a row, good 2-out hitting for Auburn. And that's been the difference in the game thus far.
Yep, and we're going to start this inning just like we did the 2nd inning with Tannen leading off. They hit her around last inning, so what she started with she got hit by a pitch to start off the inning.
And it'll be a new pitcher for Eastern Illinois, Valerie Thompson. She's a lefty. She's going to bring a lot of different looks to ride the ball in on the hands on lefties to jam them up. 15 appearances last year with 2 starts. This year she's 2-2 with a 5.93 ERA, 6 appearances with 1 start, 5 strikeouts, 6 walks with 13 2/3 innings pitched. And I think the key here, Amy, and feel free to disagree, but got to stop giving Auburn the free bases and start making Auburn earn some of the runs that they're getting across.
For sure, and that's hard to do when you're facing good hitters like this. You don't want to put the ball over the plate, but you got to work ahead. And now for these Auburn hitters, we're talking about adjusting the second time through. Well, this is the 3rd pitcher now that we've seen.
Going high above the belt of Snow. Good eyes, a 1-1 count. Well, and for Thompson, she's the only lefty on the staff for Eastern Illinois. So after throwing 2 righties, it is a bit of a different look for Auburn.
Sure, and you can see that she's trying to stay inside right now, and Tannen Snow was ready for it the first pitch, and she's looking there, so we'll see if she keeps it there. Mixes it up a little and goes outside.
Thought she might after working in, and wonder if Eastern Illinois, with Auburn's home run power, if they're aware of how the wind is blowing today, because it is carrying out of the ballpark towards left field.
That's a close pitch and a tough one to take with 2 strikes for sure. That's just a testament to how key these hitters are in at the plate.
Went after the rise and got just enough of it to see another pitch.
And when you're up there just free swinging like that with 2 strikes, you know as a hitter you're feeling good and you're seeing the ball really good.
Snow goes opposite field, carrying back to the wall, drops at the warning track. This will be extra bases, and Tannen Snow cruises into second with another extra base hit. For Snow, that is her 3rd double of the season.
You know, Cooper did a great job out there playing that 1 hop and throwing it in. I mean, I don't think she had a chance at her because Snow was running from the get-go.
And that ball, it stayed down just enough. If that ball's an inch higher, maybe 2, I don't know if it's the same result on that play. She went rise upstairs. Justice Perry taking one at the knees after being hit by a pitch and scoring a run in the second.
A lot of times when you're playing hits, they come in bunches, and if you are the leadoff and you get on, then that just helps. Like last inning, all 9 hitters went to the plate.
Well, that's the thing. When you have hitters like Tannen Snow and Justice Perry getting on base to lead off innings, it can really make Auburn dangerous when they can collectively put it together how they did in the second, 1 through 9.
I mean, sure, when you have a hitter like Justice Perry hitting 7 in your lineup.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
Well, it looks like they're trying to stay away from her right now. But that's hard. There's no outs. I mean.
And Perry getting hit for the second time.
And I think they might come out and complain about that again. No, it looked like it got her in the same spot it did the first time.
I thought this pitch, if one was going to be argued, I thought Coach Shunny had definitely a right to argue that first pitch, because I thought Perry did stick the elbow out last time, but I thought this one I thought it came a little bit more inside. And it's runners at first and second. Bree Fornes will attempt a bunt, but will wait for a strike. It's 1-0. Fly ball, right field. It is caught by Cooper. Headed for third is Snow, and it's a wild throw. And that'll advance Perry up to second. So Auburn putting pressure on the defense of Eastern Illinois, and Fornes moves the runners with a fly ball.
She did her job. She showed bunt the first time and then swung away and was still able to move them.
It's another inning here, Amy, where Auburn runners in scoring position, second and third. And Morgan Padani robbed of an RBI single her last at bat. Another opportunity here.
Yeah, last time bases were loaded. Looks like they call that inside.
Yeah, just missed off the inside corner.
Yeah. So now she has another opportunity with base runners on.
Danny, her senior season, hitting just under 300, hitting at 300, entering this ball game. Has 4 runs batted in, but where she helps Auburn is just finding ways on base in the 9th spot of the order. A 387 on base percentage, 4 for 4 stolen bases, has good wheels out of center field.
Yeah, and like we talked about at the beginning, Auburn has done a great job of not only you can see they have power through their lineup, but they're manufacturing runs. And you have 1 out right now with a runner at third base. You need to do your job here. 2 strikes, put the ball in play, make them make a play.
One, two, and Thompson stayed down. Almost got the ground ball she wanted.
Now the outfield's pretty deep. She puts anything out there, she's going to get a run.
1-2, ground ball right side, scores 1. Poulter throws to Davis at first, and Morgan Padani makes it 6-0 Auburn, and the 5th RBI for the senior.
And that's just a tremendous job of hitting right here. Exactly what we were talking about. 2 strikes, puts the ball in play. I don't think she had a chance at the plate there. She made a good job, but let's just make sure that we get an out there. It's 6 runs at this point, but Auburn at this point is probably thinking 8 runs.
Yeah, Auburn, bottom of the 3rd, up 6-0. 8 runs means a run rule after 5 innings with an 8-run deficit after 5. Runner at third, 2 outs, and is back to the top in Taylon Snow.
Taylon just looks really comfortable at the plate today. She flew out to left, and then that hard single in the 2nd inning.
Hard single that scored 2 runs, giving her 11 runs batted in this season. And one place that Valerie Thompson is liking right now to the lefties and the righties, she likes to say high and tight.
And the Auburn hitters are doing a good job of not bailing out. They're staying in the box.
And snagging it down, Thompson takes it to first, inning over. Auburn extends the lead by 1. Morgan Padani gives Auburn a 6-0 lead at the end of 3. Chardonnay Harris, a career high 6 strikeouts, and it's because of the changeup today against Eastern Illinois. And the Panthers, Amy, they do not have an answer.
No, and as a hitter, being on time is everything. And when you're trying to hit something in the 60s, you're loading early, you're looking down, and then if you can come in with something 15 miles an hour slower, it's just completely messing with your timing. And you can see freezing a lot of them, or they're just way, way out in front.
Harris having a good day, and one thing that Auburn's been able to do each inning since the 2nd is tack on one more run after the other, and they have a 6-0 lead off of 4 hits. You got to feel comfortable with that as a pitcher.
For sure. Again, she's just going to come right at these hitters and see what they can do.
And for Harris, she will face the middle of the order, Davis, McHugh, and Cravens. Davis, the center fielder, to lead it off.
And there she is again, throwing just something a little bit out of the zone, but the hitters are going after it, so I wouldn't change anything.
If you're Eastern Illinois, what would you change with the approach? Because they've been aggressive today, no question about it. And this one finds the gap in right center field, and a leadoff base hit for Davis.
Yeah, and it was actually a good pitch. She got her in on the hands. You can see she just rides it in there and gets it in her hands, and Davis is just strong enough to get it out there in the outfield. Sometimes that happens. It didn't happen for me.
I won't talk about my baseball career. Kendall Mchugh fouls back the first pitch, 0-1. I'll take your word for it. How about that?
There you go.
Mchugh did single her first appearance. And one thing about Eastern Illinois today, you look at the scoreboard, they've tied Auburn in the number of base hits in this game. The difference is hit batters today for Eastern Illinois. They have hit 4 batters, and Auburn, I think, has driven in every run or every hit batter but 2, and have had a couple of walks mixed in there. Oh, 2, a career high 7 strikeouts for Chardonnay Harris.
You know what's interesting? We haven't seen the changeup in the last 2 batters. She didn't throw it a lot last inning either.
Well, it's one thing that when she throws it, she doesn't throw it a ton, surprisingly. Haven't had the privilege to see Auburn a couple of times on these broadcasts. She'll sneak it in from time to time, but it's not as often as one would think.
No, and then when she was throwing it earlier in the game, obviously it put it in the hitters' minds, and so they're up there thinking at any time she's going to throw it, and now she's just kind of throwing it by him.
Harris facing an in-state team in Eastern Illinois. As Harris, she grew up in the state of Illinois from Oak Park, Illinois, and River Forest High School. 0-1 pitch swung and missed by Hannah Cravens.
It's 5 straight strikes there for Harris. She's really doing a good job of coming right at him.
Actually,
are you going back to the last inning?
Actually going back to 7. I mean, because she threw a couple of strikes to Davis. And it's another strikeout for Chardonnay. Make it number 8.
Yeah, she's instead of the changeup, she's gone to that curveball the last couple innings, and it's really working for her.
Well, and Coach Dean said she needed 2 of the 3 pitches, the changeup being 1 to work and be effective. Well, today it's been all 3.
Well, and you can see the results.
Mckenna Kauffman due up, but instead it will be a pinch hitter in Morgan Lamore. Yeah, Harris out of Illinois, the 2016 Gatorade Player of the Year. Came in, had an impact on Auburn last year. Had a chance to learn from some upperclassmen last year in Michaela Martin, her teammate this year, and, of course, Kaylee Carlson.
It's some great company to be in. If you're going to learn from someone, those would be great pitchers to learn from. You know, Lamore is doing a good job on the season. She's hitting .316, but she's find herself in the hole here, 0-2.
And Lamore finding a way to put it in play at least.
Yeah, and Lamore that's the first time she's seen any pitch.
Yeah.
And now she just saw the changeup, which may be why she threw it.
Well, Lamore, she's going to stay in the lineup some because she's been switching with Lexi Smith behind the plate at catcher.
Yeah, earlier today she was playing some outfield.
Pitch to waste.
And that's what we talk about when you're like a really, really effective pitcher. When you throw a pitch to waste, you want to miss close. You want to make the hitter think about swinging at it, and that one was just too far out of the zone.
1-2, strikeout number 9 for Chardonnay Harris. She strikes out 3 in the 4th. Head to the bottom of the 4th. This all Auburn by 6. But Arkansas, they split a couple with Southeast Missouri State. Southeast Missouri State won that one 6-1. Scored 4 runs in the 7th. For Texas A&M, they are 3-3 in the last 6 games. 3 of those games decided by 1 run. They're in rebuilding mode, and SEC, of course, dominating the top 25. 5 teams in the top 10. But if you focus in on that Texas A&M team, they're a team that has lost a ton of seniors from last year. Look at the schedule they're playing this year. A lot of those teams in and out of the NCAA tournament. Of course, 2 Pac-12 teams in Oregon and Arizona State. But, you know, if you look around the conference, even look at Auburn this year, Amy, you look at other teams LSU, every other team around the conference, everybody's dropped a game or two. I think Alabama and Florida, the only two teams remaining undefeated. And naturally, yes, you want to win every game, but this part of the year is about growth.
There's so much travel. There's so much travel. There's so many games being played. And a lot of times early on in the year, you want to see what you have, especially if you have some newcomers, a younger team, who can pitch, who can play some positions, get some at-bats in there, and it's going to happen.
Here's a bouncer from Casey Mcracken. Burton takes care of business to first, and it's one down. Well, yeah, but taking a look around the SEC in the top 25, I mean, it is stacked at the top. Florida and Alabama, of course, the two undefeateds, but then you have LSU, Tennessee, Georgia, Arkansas, South Carolina, Kentucky, Auburn, A&M, all teams that are going to threaten for the NCAA tournament. And one thing's for sure, these teams are going to drop games throughout the season. It's all about who can survive the gauntlet, who can survive the growth period of the season, because Auburn, one of those teams going through a bit of growth right now. For sure.
And the SEC right now, you can not make the SEC tournament and make a regional. Like that's how good these teams are.
And Auburn, of course.
I think Alyssa Rivera just showed bunt there.
She did. I think this is a situation. Auburn up 6-0 here. Coach Mickey Dean, I think he may want to see how his junior's going to react.
If I'm a corner in that situation and Alyssa Rivera shows bunt, I don't know how far I'm creeping in.
Rivera walked once, stole a base, popped out to third in the first inning. Had a great day yesterday, looking to carry that over here.
So I think first base can rest comfortably now that she has 2 strikes, that she's not going to bunt. I would not get too close to the plate when she's swinging.
Well, Rivera, too, if she ever lays one down, it'll be almost an automatic base hit with her speed. And an easy one to lay off of at the eyes for ball 3.
It's a good job working the count here for Alyssa.
And Thompson, I think Thompson's come back and worked nicely in relief for Eastern Illinois. Her first walk, only gave up 1 last inning.
Now Rivera's second walk, and just like we were talking at the beginning, she's 6 for 10 and how great her on-base percentage is. Well, there's why. She's second in the team in walks, and now she might be first.
Hey, Haley Nealon coming to the plate for Kendall Mchugh. Nealon, the backup catcher for Auburn out of Texas. Giving the senior catcher a break behind the plate as Kendall Mchugh has started every game. But Nealon, the freshman out of Spring, Texas, trying to come in and make his statement as a freshman, because Auburn's catching depth a little thin this year. And a snap throw coming down from Lexi Smith, as Auburn's Abby Tischer went down in the fall, so Auburn without one behind the plate this year.
Again, we were just talking about the amount of games they're playing. You have to have more than one catcher.
Runner goes, and the shortstop out of position. Rivera heads straight to third. Nealon with a big turnaround first. She's off the bag and is tagged out. Got too aggressive around the bases off the single.
I don't know if that was a hit and run or Rivera was stealing. It looks like she's maybe a little shook up there on third base. She went in hard in her left hand, but yeah, putting that runner in motion, shifted the shortstop, and then throw back. She just couldn't get back in time.
And Nealon diving back to the bag and got about halfway. It'll be Brittany Marissette to the plate now with 2 outs. Runner at third for Auburn. Rivera pops it up, stays in the infield. Easy catch there for Lexi Smith. Inning comes to a close. Scoreless in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the 5th. Tigers by 6. Hope you got your calculator ready today. Coming to the ballpark at J.B. Moore Field. 9 strikeouts. A busy day if you're keeping track of the K's for Orange and Blue fans. It's been all Chardonnay Harris in the circle. She's done it with the rise. She's done it with a change. She's gone inside. She's gone outside today. And for Chardonnay Harris, Amy, a career day. 9 strikeouts, the most strikeouts by any pitcher this season. For Auburn, Michaela Martin had 8 against Drake last weekend, and this is a big stepping stone for the sophomore today.
It's huge, and it's got to be the coaching staff has to just be delighted, because if you have more than one pitcher, you have 2, you have 3, 4 pitchers that you can go to in a bullpen at any time. I mean, that just helps, taking away innings, and it has to give her some confidence the way she's pitched today.
A high strikeout rate and also giving up a few base hits today, but she's used her defense. And Michaela Martin, a good teammate to learn from if you're Chardonnay Harris, because Martin, she's the ace of the staff. She's been one that's kind of been through it all. She has the ERA, the stats to back it up, pitched in the big games as Harris blows it by Lexi Smith. But that number 2 pitching spot wide open right now for Auburn. I mean, you have 3 pitchers, Chardonnay Harris, Ashley Swindle, Lexi Hanley, all 3 competing for that spot. And Coach Dean told us yesterday off the air, he said, hey, these tournaments are important for who decides who the number 2 role will be.
Sure, because right now it's been kind of by committee. And like we said, they play so many games early on. Harris coming off of an injury, transfer. You got to see what they have. And Harris is stepping up right now and showing that she wants to do it.
0-2, make it number 10 on the afternoon.
I think that was actually supposed to be a rise ball. She didn't quite get under it, but when you have that velocity, it doesn't matter.
It's a lot of Ks.
It's a lot.
10 strikeouts for Chardonnay Harris. And it's back to the top in Maddie Poulter for Eastern Illinois.
Eastern Illinois has only had 3 base runners, and Maddie Poulter's been one of them.
Well, you got to think for Eastern Illinois, they had a high strikeout rate against Troy today as well. 7 Ks in that game. But I think a lot of it for Eastern Illinois, not to make excuses for them, but we mentioned it before, it's the environment. I mean, how many times did these kids this season with the weather take at bats outside?
I can't imagine. I mean, she told us they got outside, I think maybe January 7th.
Yeah.
Is that what, 2 days?
1 day.
And then that's it. That's it. But, you know, she also had an awesome attitude about it. Like, you're in the Midwest, that's what you do. You deal with it.
She told us to embrace it, and I couldn't imagine. I'm with you. I just could not imagine prepping a team in a spring sport and then spending, the better part of the 2/3 of the season on the road just so you can play games outside.
And when you practice, you start early in January, and you're practicing for weeks before you even play inside. It gets old.
Oh, chopper back to Chardonnay Harris. Doesn't take a step. And it's 2 down.
I don't know what happened right there. We didn't get a strikeout.
2 outs, the batter's number 6.
Yeah, no, I had to regroup, and she took a half step.
She wanted to play.
That is the first ball put into play in 6 batters. Mia Davis led off the 4th with a single. And Taylor Wallenweber, forgive me, fouls off the first pitch, 0-1.
She's been a strikeout victim twice, so I'm guessing she's coming up and swinging at this point.
What do you do for Eastern Illinois? When you go back today, look, the strikeouts obviously something you're wanting to change. But from an approach standpoint, Amy, as a former player, what can you take away when facing a good pitcher like Chardonnay Harris and transitioning that into games you'll be placing in the conference later on in the season?
Well, most every hitter has had 2 strikes on them. And
a bouncer gets through for a 2-out single. Wallenweber's first hit of the day.
So I think you just need to make adjustments. You need to shorten up. You need to just try to put the ball in play, especially when she's coming at you with that rise ball. Like with 2 strikes, it's tough to let go. And that's a perfect example right there. 2 strikes, just throw your bat out there and see what happens.
So for Eastern Illinois, they've tied Auburn with 5 hits in the ballgame thus far. But Auburn has had many more base runners do the walks and hit batters. Burton has singled once today. It was her last at bat. Hard bouncer to short. Taylon Snow plays the high hopper beautifully. Gets the third out, and the inning comes to a close on the Plains. 6-0 Auburn, bottom of the 5th against Eastern Illinois. Game 1 of a doubleheader in day 2 of the Tiger Invitational. Auburn at home for the 2nd weekend in a row before heading out west next weekend. Auburn wanting to go on the road twice in the non-conference for tournaments this season, and that was by design from head coach Mickey Dean. Tigers struggled last season on the road in SEC play. Well, Tigers are going to have a great test next week. 3 Pac-12 opponents, all College World Series threats in Oregon, Washington, and UCLA. And within the last 5 years, Amy, Auburn has a history with all of these teams. Going to be a fun weekend next week on the West Coast for Auburn.
Well, I think as a player, that's what you want to do. You want to go out and play the best teams that you can, see how you fare, and it'll be a little different pitching that they see. And then also, you know, sometimes you get in these games, you get to 7, 8, and 9, and you can come straight at these batters. But out there, that's not going to be the case.
Well, and two, for players from the West Coast, get a chance to go back home and play in some family. You have the Snows from Auburn, from Chino Hills, California, and of course, Michaela Martin from San Diego, California.
And that's so important. I mean, these kids are coming to Auburn. They're a long way from home, and it's nice to go back and play in front of friends and family.
This will be Auburn's 2nd trip to the Judy Garman Classic in the last 4 years. Mckenna Dowell ahead, 3 balls and a strike.
She's doing a great job right now. She only has 8 at-bats on the season, and sometimes you get a little anxious and you want to come in, you want to get a hit, but she's done a good job working the count, 3-1.
Dowell's one of those players who gives Auburn some depth, as she's one of those players that can play third base, or she can also play at both positions in the middle infield. And well, Coach Mickey Dean, he said, hey, you know, everybody can't play, but Dowell, she's going to be an impact this season. Bouncer to first. Davis goes to get it and races to the bag for the out. How do you like the way Eastern Illinois pitcher Valerie Thompson is settled in? Again, she's given up the 1 in the 3rd, but really she's starting to settle in nicely. Had a scoreless 4th inning of play.
Yeah, she's done a good job of working inside on our hitters. I think you saw in that last one with Dow, she got on her hands a little bit. Let's see, working outside there a little. But she's done a really good job of not putting the ball over the plate, and for the most part working ahead.
Base is empty, 1 out. It's Justice Perry. Perry puts one in play for the first time today. Burton, a great play in the hole at short, and it's 2 down in the inning.
Eastern Illinois has a chance to go 1-2-3 here, and I think that would help them take a little momentum to the plate. She fields that pretty deep in the hole there. It's a long throw across the diamond. That's a great play.
Well, Burton, she's one of those versatile players at short. Athletic, very quick release. You see it there.
Looks like Greenwood is coming in to hit.
Yeah, hitting for Bree Fornes. Greenwood and Fornes swapping in and out of left field this season for Auburn. As Greenwood, she redshirted last year, had a shoulder injury, and boy, had a big RBI base hit yesterday with 2 outs, 2 runs batted in. Her first RBIs of the season came against Villanova.
You can see, again, she's really doing a good job of working the inside part of the plate. That's a tough pitch to hit for the lefties. Yeah.
1-2, got jammed up. And Burton to first. It is a 1-2-3 inning at the end of 5. Auburn in control by 6. 6-0 Auburn in the top of the 6th inning. And the first 5 innings have been controlled by the lefty Chardonnay Harris of Auburn. Look at what she's done today. 10 strikeouts in the circle, but the amount of strikes she's thrown today has been what's so important. 55 strikes on 70 total pitches after walking one batter, Amy, and it was the first batter of the ball game. And since then, she hasn't looked back.
Well, if you look at Harris's stats coming into this game, she pitched 8.2 innings and had given up 2 hits and walked 2 batters. So she was putting on more than a runner an inning. And then she had 9 strikeouts. Those stats are going to just inflate at this point.
Facing Cooper, Davis, and Mchugh, middle of the order for Eastern Illinois.
Cooper's done a good job today.
Yeah.
She singled to left, and she had the fielder's choice.
Well, putting the ball in play, and that's what's important right now for Eastern Illinois. And Cooper, a good player. She's a threat offensively and defensively, making a few nice plays.
And Harris has not worked behind many batters at all today, but Cooper is one of them.
Yeah, fell behind 2-0 and on that first at bat. It made her pay for a hitter's count.
The infield is just giving her a lot of room there, especially Perry at first base.
One thing that Cooper, her approach has been different today. She's not chasing the rise. And that's where so many pitchers or hitters have gotten in trouble with Chardonnay Harris is the rise ball, the inability to lay off that pitch.
Right, and when she brings it in the zone, just like any other pitcher, it's a lot easier to hit, and that's what Cooper's done. She's driven it when it's in the zone.
A little high to get that one, but yeah, that was manageable. Auburn and Eastern Illinois in the second day of the Tiger Invite. For Auburn, they have more games coming up tonight, or at least one with North Dakota State. And the 2-2 goes high and tight on Cooper for the 11th strikeout of the day, and that number keeps climbing.
You can just see that just start. It looks like it's in the zone and then just rises right over her hands. That is such a tough pitch to hit.
Chardonnay Harris working comfortably for Auburn.
And Davis, another one who's had a hit today.
Yeah, the middle of the order has been the part of the lineup that has done the most damage for Eastern Illinois. You know, you go from Burton in the 3-hole all the way down to Mchugh in the 6-hole. Every hitter between Burton, Cooper, Davis, Mchugh with base hits.
Yeah, if you look at the hit column, it's even.
Yeah, 5-5. But it's the little things in this game. And I think where Eastern Illinois will go back and look and say, hey, we did not take advantage like Auburn did. And Auburn's taken what Eastern Illinois has given them today. And they made the Panthers pay for every bit of it.
For sure. And then when Auburn is on, they've been aggressive on the base pass. Rivera going first to third on just a ball in front of the outfielders. When you make the defense make the play, and good things happen. And today it's in 6 runs.
Coaches always preach on the little things, and sometimes as athletes, or even kids at home, talking to your parents, you don't want to believe it until it's true, and today it has indeed been the little things.
It has, and again, another just continuing from last night, a lot of 2-out hits, scoring some runs.
Two-1 on Davis. Change up lifted. Shallow right center. Rivera calls off Mccracken taking charge. in the outfield is 2 down.
That's a really good job by Rivera, because we've seen today 3 times in the earlier games balls dropping. And Mccracken, she's going until she hears something. She does a good job of being loud, calling her off early.
Well, and the sun's starting to pop out here at Jane B. Moore Field, too. So you see Rivera has the sunglasses on. In a nice evening setting in on the loveliest village on the plains. Kendall Mchugh taking a first pitch strike. And Mchugh singled back in the second. And one of the many strikeout victims in the fourth. And looking in the book, Chardonnay Harris has struck out every player in the lineup today but one. That was Meghan Burton hitting in the 3-hole today.
Now, on Davis, I was wondering if she was going to come in with that changeup on the last pitch, and now we have an 0-2 count here. The last time she threw an 0-2 changeup, it got hit, so I'm going to go with the rise ball.
Chardonnay Harris going for strikeout number 12 on the day. And Mchugh gets just a piece. One thing to note for Eastern Illinois, in 7, 8, 9 today, Harris has struck out each batter both times at the plate. So I wonder at some point in the game, hey, could you see maybe a mix-up, a pinch hitter of some sort at some time, just to break up the rhythm of Chardonnay?
I would do anything at this point to break up her rhythm. I mean, she is really keyed in. She is all over the plate. And Mchugh's doing a good job right here, down 0-2 and battling, fighting off some pitches.
Yeah, 2 pitches with an 0-2 count, fouled back to the screen.
There it is.
0-2 change, puts it in play. Snow to Perry, inning over. Headed to the bottom of the 6th. Tigers to bat one more time. They're in control, 6-0. 6-0 Auburn, bottom of the 6th inning. Tigers looking for 2 more runs against Eastern Illinois to perhaps get out of here with a run rule. But for Auburn, they've had some pretty good offensive numbers here in 2019. You see the increase from 2018 with a 365 average going up from 357, but 18 home runs is what's been so important. But if you look at what Auburn's done this weekend, 311 average as a team, 11 RBIs, 12 runs, and then today, a 278 batting average was 6 runs. For Auburn, they've seen a lot of different arms today, but one thing's for sure, Amy, they're continuing to find ways to score runs, and they're not just relying on the long ball this weekend. They're hitting station to station.
That's what I was just going to say. Without 1 home run and you're putting up 6 runs, that's pretty good.
That'll be 9-1-2. Morgan Padani, a hot shot to third. Cravens throws to first, and Padani's retired on 1 pitch.
And that's 4 straight outs for Eastern Illinois. Credit to them. They're making the defensive plays. They're putting the ball in play, and they're making the outs. But we're back to the top of the lineup again.
And correction, that's Denise Santini at third base, filling in for Cravens. Nice play by Santini, a freshman out of Lexington, South Carolina. But Taylon Snow, she had a big 2 RBI single in the second, 2 back up for Auburn. On the ground to short. 6-3 putouts and back-to-back ground ball outs. And Valerie Thompson, she has been comfortable in the pitching circle since the 3rd inning. Again, she gave up the 1 run, but that's all she surrendered.
And we're 3 pitches into this inning with 2 outs now, so if she can get out of here, we would always say if you get out in 5 pitches, that's a steak dinner.
So 2 pitches to get Casey Mcracken. She might do it. And a backhand attempt by Burton. It sneaks underneath. And Casey Mcracken with a 2-out base hit.
I mean, she hit that ball so hard that the shortstop didn't have a lot of time, and I think you had to make that play right there and come up throwing, or you're not going to get Casey out.
Yeah, and from the first step she got, she would have had to leave her feet to make the catch. Well, Mccracken's speed, not many shortstops in the country that can do that.
No, I mean, she had to backhand that there to throw her out.
And for Mccracken also, coming into the weekend, She had a career on-base streak that spans 23 games. Well, after today, make it 26 games. Reached both games yesterday against Villanova and North Dakota State, and adding one today against Eastern Illinois.
I just keep looking at her batting average, and it shocks me every time I look down. But now she's 2 for 4 today, so I guess that's how you hit 500.
Yeah, that batting average has gone up from 514 to start today to 526. 1-1, smoke to short. Burton is there for the snag, and the inning's over. 3 outs to play on the Plains. It's 6-0 Auburn. Top of the 7th inning, and the strikeouts keep rising for Chardonnay Harris and the Auburn Tigers. For Auburn, the sophomore has had a career day. 11 strikeouts against Eastern Illinois. The last time an Auburn player has had 11 strikeouts, it's been 2 years, 2017, and it was Harris's teammate, Michaela Martin, the last player that has done that. And Amy, now you add both of those pitchers to the same pitching staff. Oh, what Auburn's pitching could be this season.
Chardonnay Harris comes in today over a 3 ERA, and just with today's performance, she's now under a 2. You have to have, when you're facing the SEC and teams like they have in the SEC, you have to have more than one pitcher. And I think Chardonnay is showing she wants to be that second pitcher.
And Auburn working on trying to build a complete staff. Tigers have Ashley Swindle, a junior out of Jasper, Alabama. Hannah Cravens fouls off the first pitch, and Auburn, of course, brought one in. They lost one last year due to graduation, and they bring in Lexi Hanley. And Hanley, one of the best pitchers out of the Mid-American Conference a few years ago, transferring from Akron. She started yesterday, got into a little trouble, but she's coming back off of an injury too. So what Auburn could build here this year, I mean, they've got 4 legitimate arms that could be a threat come late April.
Coach Dean is known for developing pitchers, and I think you're seeing that now, coming from last year to this year, and how, I mean, there's just been a lot of positive steps. And when you start pitching better, you get a little more confidence, and that just helps your hitters too.
You see Lexi Hanley warming up in the bullpen for Auburn. And Chardonnay Harris, strikeout number 12, and the numbers keep climbing.
It's the 3rd strikeout of the day for Cravens. And again on the rise ball.
Well, and the question was last year, and coming into this year, how does Auburn replace an All-American like Kaylee Carlson? Which is a valid question anytime you lose a pitcher with that talent. But Mickey Dean's doing it the right way. He's doing it by committee and not trying to put the pressure on one player and say, hey, you've got to do it all. You've got to fill the void. And he's using a staff to do it. And he's got a great leader in Michaela Martin leading that charge.
Absolutely, because you don't replace a pitcher like that. You have to have different looks, different velocities. Again, we haven't seen the changeup, but she's facing 7-8-9 again, and each time she's faced 7-8-9, she has struck them out.
Lamore has one at bat against her in the 4th inning, and continues to either be ahead 0-2, 1-2. The deepest count she's been in today, 2-2 since the 1st inning. And it's called strike 3 on the inside corner. Number 13 on the day for Harris.
And we're talking a lot about Harris, and rightly so. I mean, she's pitching unbelievably today. But, yeah, Lexi Hanley and Ashley Swindell. Swindell came in last night in a really, really tough spot with runners on and got out of it. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. So I'll be really interested to see next weekend if they can keep it up.
Well, for Auburn, it's going to be a test, no question. But as we mentioned before, that's what they wanted out of that weekend, is to go out west, get tested, get some experience, to get some teams. If you want to contend to come May, you got to play those teams early in the season.
You have to.
Jenna Robbins in the hole 0-2, pinch hitting for Lexi Smith. Chardonnay Harris with an 0-2 count, going for her 14th strikeout and going for the 10th Auburn win of the season. Downstairs in the dirt.
That's the first time we've seen that pitch all day long.
Crowd giving Harris a little support. She's earned it today. For the win. 1-2, strikeout number 14. Harris strikes out the side and has a career day doing it. 14 strikeouts, and Auburn defeats Eastern Illinois 6-0 as the Tigers improve 10-3 on the regular season. Amy, no question about who the player of this game was today. Your thoughts overall on Auburn's performance?
Well, she pitched amazing. She did a really, really good job. But when your offense puts 5 runs up in the second inning, it's a lot easier to say, okay, I'm coming right at these hitters. But credit to her, that's what she did. And a lot of times, she didn't even have to throw something in the strike zone to get him to swing.